And welcome back. It is the 7th of August, high five day, and we're going straight to the first question. Now, this first question, funny enough, if you did yesterday with me, you will know that we did one of these to end yesterday's day. I'm going to do the same thing again because I think I can factorize this. So 3 times 4 is 12. Two numbers that multiply to make 12 are -3 and -4. And -3 minus 4 is indeed -7. So that wasn't too bad at all. So 3x squared minus 3x minus 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. Factorize this bit here, which is going to give me 3x, x minus 1. I must see x minus 1 now. So factorize this bit here. It's going to be 4 lots of x minus 1. Good, that's worked, which means I can factorize this whole thing as 3x minus 4, x minus 1. And that's equal to 0, which means either this equals 0, so therefore x equals 4 over 3, or x is equal to 1. That's it. First question done. Not too bad to start. Next one. Right. They like these, don't they? Root 192 is equal to 2 root y. So in other words, put the 2 back into here, and what does y become? What do I mean by that? Well, if I do that, so if I think that 2 is the same as the square root of 4 times y, I can then put the 4 into here, which means that's the same as the 4y. And I know 4y is equal to 192, which effectively means I can ignore the square roots, so that y is equal to 192 over 4. That's a nice simple number because that is just 48. Question done. I like that question. Clever question. Sort of reverse search question. Next one. Is that the last one today? No, it isn't. A can of baked beans has a paper label wrapped around the outside. The can has a height of this, a radius of this. The label covers the entire height. So basically means there's no gap. The label has a 1 centimeter overlap vertically, so they can be stuck together. Okay, so in other words, if I unravel it, it's going to be the circumference plus, so 2 pi r, which is circumference, plus 1 centimeter. Calculate the area of the label. Okay, no surprise there. So I've pretty much written it out, haven't I? So I'm working out the area of this rectangle here, where now the height's 11, and the length is 2 pi r plus 1. Well, actually, that's going to be 11 times, well, the radius is 4.5, so 2 times pi times 4.5 plus 1. I can put all that in my calculator in one go, and that gives me 322.0176727, which I'm just going to say is approximately 322 centimeters. It's centimeters, yes it is, centimeters squared to 3 sig fig. Notably, I've shown my calculation, which is important because that means I can write my number at the end. Either way, question done. Next and final question today. The length of a rectangular field is 8 times its width. Calculate the perimeter. Clever. Right, okay. So here's my rectangular field, and let's set this up. What do I want? I want the perimeter. So the length of a rectangular field is 8 times its width. So if that's x, which is its width, its length is 8x, which means the area is 8x squared, and I therefore know that 8x squared is equal to 1800, which means that x squared is equal to 1800 over 8, which is 225. And I do know the square root of 225 is exactly 15, so therefore x is equal to 15, which is not my answer because I need the perimeter. So therefore the perimeter is going to be 15 plus 15, the two widths, plus 8 times 15, which is 120, plus another 120 at the bottom. Either way, in a calculator or not, I think it's going to be a non-calculator question, I guess, because it's difficult but not too difficult. So 120 plus 120 is 240, plus 30 is going to give me 70, which means it's 270. What are my units? I'm working in meters, so 270 meters. And that is it, question done. I quite like that can question, quite a clever setup question, but not too bad. Either way, do let me know how that went for you. Like, subscribe. See you tomorrow.